Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Do not reflect the management, sponsors, or affiliates of K Radio broadcast.
Oh, listen up. They're not conservatives. They're not liberals. They're equal opportunity haters. It's time for Rants in Our Pants with Dawn. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
5, 4, 3,
Here
2.
we go.
And happy fucking New Year, boys and girls. I'm pretty sure we can all agree 2020 is left better in the dust and forgotten, but unfortunately it's going to linger on for a little while. Welcome once again to Rants in Our Pants. This is Dawn. Somewhere we have set up wanted posters. We have set up a thing on Craigslist, set up things on the Facebook Marketplace. We don't know where Krista is anymore. We lost sight of her somewhere south of Saskatchewan, and that's the last we heard of her. Eventually, hopefully, she will be rejoining the show. But, 2020 has been a kind of strange, for lack of better words, yeah. I'm almost waiting for that moment when she does come back. It'll be like the good, the bad, the ugly. But, 2020 has been pretty much a shit show. I think we're all thankful is over, but just because the clock struck midnight, it didn't mean it was like hitting the reset button. But yet, we all know what the 1st of January means. New year, new me. Now, I'm guilty of the type of, character that says, okay, January 1st, I'm going to hit that reset button. I'm going to buy healthier foods. I'm going to work out a lot more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I usually am pretty good at it. I mean, am I still fat? Yes. Sad and fortunate, side effect of, food. But the one thing I always do is I make sure that I'm exercising about 3 to 5 times a week if possible. So there are some days where my knees are just saying, no, sit your ass down. There are days where everything else is saying, sit your ass down. But I think what makes it more difficult this year compared to the start of 2020 last year is the fact that, we still have a pandemic. It did not go away at 11:59 and 59 seconds. It's still out there. Matter of fact, it's even morphed into something a little bit more easy to get. I guess they said it's a lot more contagious. So gyms have to still be mindful of social distancing, or as Planet Fitness words it, social fitnessing. And I'm not even going to lie. I think I drove past one gym yesterday. And here in southeastern Michigan, it was a bit of a shit show driving yesterday because you went out, everything was fine. You came out of that store, all of a sudden there's sleet. I had a little bit of sleet just hit me in the cheek, and it fucking hurt. I mean, I want to say it almost cut my cheek open a little, just slightly. But I drove past one gym, and I want to say it was moderately crowded, not totally, but there were quite a few cars in the parking lot. So I'm almost curious as to how they filtered in all those people that came in and, made sure that they were 6 feet apart and, making sure that people are, cleaning the machines before and after all their sets. But I don't know. I'm feeling optimistic, but then you see things like, as I stated before, they have now reported cases in Colorado, California. I think there's one other state where they had some cases of the now mutated strain of COVID-19. You have Dr. Fauci, an article I read where he said life is not going to return to normal until roughly about the fall of this year. And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't know. I on the last show, I talked about an existential crisis that I kind of was having. not, you know, I always wear my mask. I always make sure I'm washing my hands. You should be washing your hands after the bathroom, you sick fuckers. But, you know, some people are just like, I gotta go. It's good enough. I didn't get any urine on my hands. Try again. Especially you boys. You're hanging onto your unit. The pipes do leak. But, you know, washing your hands, especially, you know, if you go out in public and you've been touching things, get some sanitizer. But then I started thinking, well, it's kind of like when you take an antibiotic. You got an infection and you take the antibiotic, and if you don't follow the instructions right, the virus will mutate and it'll just look at the antibiotics and go, pfft. Well, now you got people who are still wearing their mask, but some are wearing it under their nose, on their chin, on their forehead, over their eyes, anywhere but over their nose and mouth. And they wonder why this shit's still here. You guys said if we wore our masks, and some of you fuckers weren't. And even those who take care, like certain workplaces, they will take care. Like they'll get deep cleaners to come in. They make sure you're wearing your mask. They're taking your temperature. You know, you're washing your hands. You're using sanitizer. You're doing all that. But they can't control what you do once you leave the fucking building. And if you're the type that does all that when you're at work, but the minute you walk out that door, you're like, you know, I think I want to get some Mickey D's. And you walk into a Mickey D's without your mask, you're touching all that stuff, not using your sanitizer. You get home, you eat, you're putting the food into your mouth, you go to the bathroom, whoopsie, I forgot to wash my hands. Uh-oh. You know, that's why this shit's still here. Now, I'm not going to deny that sometimes strains will mutate even if you're taking the best of cares. That's how evolution kind of works here. Even though this is not exactly evolution, I don't even know why I use that term, but you get what I'm saying. The shit's going to mutate. It always does. Why do you think we get different types of flu shots every year? Why do you think we get this every year? So to have Fauci say, if we maintain the course, things might get back to normal. Might get back to normal in the fall. Which means we have to fight all over again about sporting arenas, specifically the baseball arenas, college, all that, and the bars. And this is the thing that drives me nuts about the restaurants and the bars. And it couldn't have been even more prevalent than when I was driving home New Year's Eve night and driving yesterday. The restaurants, yes, are still open. This is a fact. But you can't dine in. So you got a lot of waitresses that are off right now. One of the biggest party nights of the year, next to Cinco de Mayo, St. Patty's Day, and apparently, and this one still flummoxes me, the night before Thanksgiving. That's supposed to be the biggest bar night in the history of bardom. I don't get that one unless you're just getting drunk to prepare to deal with your family. But New Year's Eve came and not a bar was open because of the pandemic. So I'm prepared to hear all the fighting about we need to open this up. If people honestly had a fucking brain, had common courtesy, you know, just for a change. I'm not saying we didn't see a lot of people rise up and come together in 2020. We did. We really did. But if more people would have stopped listening to Sweet Potato Hitler, tip of the hat to Christopher Titus for that reference, by the way. But if people would have stopped listening to Sweet Potato Hitler and taken it seriously instead of being sheep and listening to him spout lies while his fat ass himself got it. Because why? He didn't want to look weak and put on a mask.
Honestly, I wonder, do you think he really had it?
Yes, I do. I do. Because I'm telling you, I'm surprised, honestly, he didn't get it at the beginning. But if you were watching him, how much of he was trying to breathe. You could tell he had something. Now, what I put in my slight, if you will, conspiracy theory hat, I don't really do conspiracy theories all that much, but even I had to sit back and, but reality and realism kicked in, and I'll explain in a second, is how did over 300,000 people die, but this motherfucker's still ticking? He's out of shape. He's obese. He wants to say, I'm not obese. I'm in shape. My doctor said so. You're morbidly obese, motherfucker. Trust me, you are. But yet, he was up and around within days. But the difference is, and this is, like I said, where reality kicked in, the difference between him and so many others is he had access to some of the best health care. It was at his fingertips. It's in the world's best interest that he lives. I beg to differ. No, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I don't need to leave the building and get cuffed. But a lot of people didn't have access. And a lot of people thumbed their nose at it and basically, unfortunately, suffered because of it. I'm not saying all of them. I am not saying all of them. But I remember one distinctly at the very beginning. I want to say it was like around about late March, early April. And I'm going to say this straight up. I'm not a fan of all media because I think they like to glorify a lot of shit just for ratings. But they mentioned this one gentleman. Now, they were talking about the only people that were really at risk of COVID was the elderly and the high risk. The youth were not at any risk. But they brought up this one guy from Michigan who passed away. He was like 33 years old. He was obese. But you know what they mentioned the most about him? He was a Trump supporter. And that he believed what the president told him. Now, okay. I'm sorry, folks. I don't like sweet potato Hitler. I never will like sweet potato Hitler. I've never liked sweet potato Hitler. But that's a low blow because, he may have been a supporter, and he believed in his president. But I don't think that's why he died. All right. So let's kind of like make it less about who he supported than, other shit. But that being said, how did your Christmas, New Year's go?
Christmas was lovely, actually. I had all three of my children together for the week leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the longest they've all been around each other all at one time. So that was lovely. The job gave us a couple bonuses that we didn't expect. They gave us a raise.
Cool.
So, I was thankful for that. The new year, kind of slept. One of my patients, one of my patients over the holiday had contacted me because his catheter had some issues. And, just doing what any decent human being would do, directing them, like, if you have any troubles, if you could hold off until this particular day and time, I would definitely take care of it. But don't be like a man like we are and try to fight it out.
Right.
So they bought me a half gallon of Hypnotic and thanks of that. So it was like, that was my New Year drink. But after about a glass or two of that, I slept until it was time for the countdown, went back to sleep.
I was about to say, with a name like Hypnotic, how long were you out?
I probably went to sleep. Got off work about 12, started drinking at 2, was out by 3:15, woke up at like 11:55.
So just in time for the ball to drop.
Just in time, because she came out there. I bought one of the little poppers that you buy for $1 at the store.
Oh, yeah.
She popped one and I jumped. That's what made me wake up. So it was cool. It was just me, her, and my youngest child.
Right.
Because all the other children are off in the way. So it was real peaceful. They say how you bring in your New Year's, how you gonna end it. So peaceful is all I want.
God, I hope so. God, I hope so.
How was yours?
Well, it's interesting. Almost the same, almost identical, except for the night before, I don't know why, I didn't get a lot of sleep. Did not get a lot of sleep. I think 5 hours at best. Went to work, got everything basically checked in, processed, all that other stuff. And then me and my other co-leaders had to make decisions of who gets to leave early. And we didn't want anyone to be upset, but you knew you were going to. It's New Year's Eve. The younger people want to leave because they want to party. The older people want to leave because they want to avoid the people that want to party. So, you know, we tried to get everyone out as quickly as possible. Got home, realized on the way home we forgot a few things for the nachos we were going to make. So we had to stop by at a widely recognized drugstore. And that was kind of nightmarish, but funny at the same token, because I'm trying to rush home because I want to enjoy New Year's as much as possible.
Right.
Even though I know I have the next day off, I want to enjoy New Year's night because me and Amanda don't go out really a lot. And our idea of partying is we'll sit on the couch, we'll have a few drinks, blare goofy music, making our neighbors wonder why they moved in. And then we just pass out. But that didn't happen this year. And, you know, I'm going to get to it as to why. But we get to the Walgreens, picked up just a couple of items. And all of a sudden, we're at the mercy of, I need to have my manager void this out. But you can wait here while we wait. And we're all just standing there, like, twiddling our thumbs. It took about 10 minutes. But in that time frame, because I'm patient, I know what it's like working the other side of the counter. I will never, unless I think it's absolutely bullshit, will I ever utter a word. Manager comes, goes, who's on hold? Who's on hold? I'm like, well, technically us, but... Then she picks up the phone, drops, and she goes, someone in the pharmacy has somebody on hold all this time. Now, I've been standing there 10 minutes. I can only imagine the person on the other end of the line, like, the fuck are they doing over there? So... all of a sudden the phone rings and the manager just finished voiding out the thing so the cashier can ring us up so we can get the fuck out of there. And the cashier picks up the phone. Hi, thank you for calling so-and-so business. And as she's saying it, you can hear it echoing on the overheads. And I'm thinking, oh, this poor bastard on the phone right now is like, what's that echo? And then she hangs up on him out of panic. I'm like, this is your first week on the job, isn't it? But we got home, rushed, hurried, and made our nachos, sat and watched goofy videos. Our challenge was we were going to get a little hammered and try to find goofy try not to laughs, and whoever laughed had to, you know, take a shot. Wouldn't you know, we couldn't find a single fucking one. I barely chuckled. She chuckled a little, and that was about it. And then, like I said, I held on to midnight. Ball dropped. Wished each other a happy New Year. Within 15 minutes, I must have like just dropped out of exhaustion because all of a sudden, about 2 a.m., I hear this. Psst. Psst. That can't be comfortable. Apparently, I sleep like a cat when I'm on the couch and I'm unconscious because half of me was laying flat. The other half of my lower was on the floor. The other part was like up over the top of the couch. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what I was trying to do in my sleep, but there I was. So I got myself realigned and went back to sleep. But here's the thing that I always enjoy is we have to make sure the dogs go out on their last run before 11 o'clock on New Year's night. Can you guess why?
Why?
You never know where that bullet's going to land, do you? It turns into a war zone. It sounds like we're in in downtown war zone. I heard more automatic gunfire than I think I've ever heard in the entire 20 years I've been down there. And someone was at 2 a.m. I'm like, that's definitely not fireworks.
See, that's the difference now. When I stand in Detroit, you know, you'll hear it every day being that Joy Road everything area. You know, you'll hear it all the time. You know, the first couple of days of the new year, like each night you'll still hear shots. Like,
oh I still hear them.
Standing out here where I'm at now in Milford, it's like you don't hear that. You'll hear some fireworks, but you don't hear all the boom, boom, boom. It's like it's almost too peaceful.
You're not playing that game, firework or firearm.
There you go.
But the thing that was surprising is one of the many shortages we experienced in 2020 was ammo.
Yeah.
And you got these guys pretty much blowing their load in the sky. And I'm thinking, you didn't learn nothing from like a month or so ago, did you?
See, I just, right before I came here, of course, before I grabbed something to eat, right before I got here, I just went to go check on a handgun to see if it was a stock because I seen a good price on it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I had a coupon for additional 20% off of this weapon. So I was like, let me go check it out. Of course, when I get there, the guy kind of made a mockery of me. He's like, oh, I haven't seen that brand in years. And the other one, even longer. I'm like, why did you have to go and say all that? I just wanted the good price gun.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of this commentary, sir?
I'm like, it felt weird because there was a few people out there, so it's like, everybody got their little stimulus money, so I know they're about to spend nice bucks.
And I think that's why, I mean, I know usually even after New Year's Eve, a lot of stores are kind of busy, but I think a lot of people got that $600 stimulus on Friday. And because I think there's more people out there than normal.
I'm gonna be honest, I got mine on Thursday. And it went straight to the bills.
Yeah.
Because I had, when you're trying to be responsible, you got automated debits come out of your account.
Yep.
I didn't know it hit my account until it was already gone. Rent came out, DTE, and, Sprint and all these other things. And I looked, was like, well, damn, I still got $200 in my bank account.
Uh-huh.
So I looked, was like, are you serious? I got my stimulus money and I didn't even know it.
Yeah. And I honestly, I was talking with Amanda about it, and I said, you got a lot of impulses that hit you when you see that money hit.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of impulses. In my case, my impulse is I'm riding on 4 bald tires, man. I am telling you. And right now, Amanda's car's in the shop because she got into a car accident a few months ago. So while it's being fixed, my car is the main source of transportation right now.
So that brand new car, that's not cheap.
No, it is not. And I'm just like, well, gee, I wonder where this is going to go. New sneakers for the car, I guess. But the funny thing is then my engine is starting to have that little squeeze as you're moving, the high pitch. And I know that's not going to be good in the future. It's probably like a belt or something like that. Belt. Yeah. So I'm just like, oh. Now, fortunately, I got a next door neighbor. He does a lot of mechanics work. I already talked to him. He says, if you ever want me to take a look, I'd be more than happy to, But, yeah, to me, it ended peacefully. Hell, it even started peacefully. And that's how I'm hoping the rest of the year goes. I'm trying to remain hopefully optimistic. But the one thing, and I didn't get a chance to touch on it. I was going to on the last show, but it's something that utterly pissed me off.
What was that?
I got a dentist. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows the history of me and being with dentists. It's not good. It never is good. And I've stuck with him all this time because I haven't had any painful, shall we say, moments in his dental chair. That being said, last year I found out that he wanted to do, and this is going to build up to why I'm eventually going to leave, but last year I had to have 2 extractions on the lower left jaw, or the left side of my jaw. Okay. Now, mind you, when he did this, I already had a crown that he put in that I didn't want. Okay? Because it was from a long time ago. The temporary crown broke when I was having surgery. It wasn't bothering me, so I just did not care if it ever got repaired. And technically, the hospital was technically responsible for the breaking, but they said because the anesthesiologist said I didn't say anything about it, it was her word against mine. And who do you think they chose? Exactly. And I have proof, but what are you going to do?
Because now you're looking at malpractice.
Yeah.
Or, along the lines of it.
And like I said, they just took the anesthesiologist's word for it. And that's why when I have surgery in February, I'm going to make sure Amanda's in the room so she can hear and document everything. At least I hope so, because sometimes if there's something on her Kindle or phone that it gets her attention, maybe she might tune out. I don't know. But the thing is they go to do the extractions. And they took out the fucking crown. All right? It's a permanent crown. Took it out. And I go, why'd you take it out? And they said, well, we can't just put another tooth there. And it would look kind of stupid to have, and I'm not using his exact words, but it would be kind of stupid to keep that crown there and there's no tooth there and no tooth above it. Then why did you even put it there? Because he knew I was losing bone density in my jaw. Why did you even fucking put it there? Because his exact words were, well, you can't build a castle on quicksand. No shit, Monty Python. Tell me more. So fast forward, I've been putting it off, but I knew I was going to get a crown in my front tooth. I had chipped it. He's been telling me for years he wanted to take all 4 teeth out, put in 4, a bridge or a crown. I already have a crown on this tooth. But then my teeth decided to throw him a curveball. The one tooth here won't allow it. He's like, it won't work. It won't work. I'm just going to have to give you a crown, not take out all 4. I'm like, well, gee, thanks for that bloody fucking miracle. So my insurance covered, I want to say at least 80% of the procedure. I had to fork over $500.
Not bad.
Wait. So unbeknownst to me, and I guess this is a common procedure, but unbeknownst to me, he gave me the temporary crown. I got the post. All's right with the world. Then all of a sudden, here come the Bumpus's dogs to take the turkey because we were eating, and I noticed all of a sudden something didn't feel right in my mouth. And I spit out my food into my hand, and sure enough, there's the tooth, the temporary crown. It snapped off the post. The post made of what? My tooth, the bone. Apparently that's normal procedure. I thought they put a rod in there, but that's the implant, and we're getting there. So I called them up the next morning and said, hey, look, the temporary crown fell off. I was taking good care of it. It just came off when I bit into, what I was eating. He got me in, takes a look at it, and goes, well, here are your options. We could either A, give you another type of crown, but it will be very, very weak. Very weak. Or we could give you an implant. I'm like, how much is the implant? Because I'm thinking this motherfucker who wanted to do so much work on my fucking mouth, maybe his car needed tires too. I don't know. Because I denied him pulling 4 teeth, he now gets me for the implant, which costs, without insurance, close to $4 or $5 grand.
I was gonna say that's if it's on the low end.
Exactly. Now, fortunately, they reversed the original procedure with my insurance and they reapplied it to the implant, but it still put me on the hoof for just a shade under $2 grand. Just a shade. I'm still making payments on my fucking mouth. Anyway, excuse me, but I go there, get the procedure done, I get the bone graft, and I said, okay, so when does the actual implant go in? He goes, well, you're going to be wearing this temporary tooth. Do not wear it when you eat. Do not wear it when you eat. Do not wear it when you sleep, because you might swallow it. Only wear it if you want to talk or for aesthetics, like for a picture. I said, okay, that's great, but when does the implant go in? His exact words, this was in July. 6 months. Exactly, 6 months. But his date was, you're going to come in on December 19th. I go, this is before Christmas? He goes, yes. I'm like, well, there goes my eating for the holidays. He's like, we're going to do this on the 19th of December. All right. 19th of December comes in. They put me in this apparatus where you got to bite down on this thing. And it's never a good sign, I think. When the person you're training for taking this x-ray, which is a full scan of your head, which I got to see what my skull looks like for the first time. That was awesome. But it's a bad sign when as they're raising the platform and I'm not aware they're about to, and it's stretching my neck and my eyes fly open and you got to keep them shut. Is it a bad sign when the assistant's like, oh, dear God. Like she thought I was going to break the machine and hurt them? Because word got around it in this place of my infamous battle with a previous dentist. He swears they didn't hit a nerve. I'm here to tell you they did. Because when he hit that drill into my tooth, I felt pain like I've never felt before. I mean, it hurt. And to the point where I ripped the armrest off the chair, off the damn dental chair.
Was this place east?
It was over in 12 Mile Telegraph area.
Okay. So I'm thinking of another place because I had a really bad experience as well. I hate going to the dentist's office.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of shocked they're no longer the #1 suicidal practice because they used to be. Now it's veterinarians. I don't know how that happened, but okay. But
that's something about that tooth nerve pain. That ain't no Motrin, Tylenol, no pill go take that pain away.
And God help it if there's a reason why it's one of the more scary movie moments in history with the art. Is it safe? And he's coming at your mouth with the drill. There's a reason. But so he's telling me December 19th, the implant goes in. Awesome. Okay, cool. Because I came in for a follow-up. He's like, great, the bone graft is healing. Everything's looking great. We're on target. So I'm expecting on December 19th to fucking get the implant. They do the full head scan, sit me down. I'm getting myself prepared for all the anxieties that go with going into the dental chair. He comes in, tells me to open my mouth, looks and goes, looking great. We're going to see you in January for the implant. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You told me December 19th was the day we're going to be doing the implant. He goes, oh, no. No, it's 6 months. You had this in July, August, September, November, December. You get the idea. And I'm looking at him, but you said December 19th, right before Christmas, implant goes in. Ta-da! Nope, we're going to see you January 14th. Have a nice day. And I'm like, wait, whoa. January 14th? That's a Thursday. Can I schedule it for a Monday? And he goes, oh, I only do these on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And they keep bothering me to get a cleaning. They don't know that as soon as that implant goes in, I'm out. I'm done. This is like the third, fourth time these people have fucking jerked me around. And while I appreciate the one receptionist who helped me get that cost down for the implant, that doesn't excuse being jerked around. I didn't want the crown. He put it in, only to take it out less than a year later. Knowing damn well, and he said it verbally, I've got the bone density going down in my jaw. It makes me wonder if he's lying to me when I said, does that mean I'm going to lose my jaw and I'm going to look like Roger Ebert in the final years of his life? And he goes, no, you'll be fine.
See, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes you got to wonder, like, are some of these doctors, physicians, whatever they might be, are they doing it just for billing? You know, to keep a consistent flow of patients coming in. And it's like you deal with that And me being in that field, it's like you often wonder when you work closely with other doctors, other offices, and things like that. You see things that seem a little weird, like, okay, if this person just came in for this, and all this could have, this procedure and this procedure all could have been done at once, or they come in 2-3 separate times for a continuation that counts as a separate visit. So it's like now you got to call these offices, like, okay, how is this working? How is this working? It's a lot of bull crap that goes into it. But me, when it comes to dental, I don't think they got dental like they used to be. Like they used to have, being in Detroit, they used to have neighborhood or community little dental offices. I had Dr. Claremont, Dr. Goldstein. These are people that have private offices. But now you got like the Great Expression, Bright Sides, and all these people that's doing more damage just for you to continue coming in. And that was the last experience I had with getting them. I had to get 2 wisdom teeth extracted. When I told them I felt there was another piece of that tooth still in my mouth, oh no, it's all gone, it's all gone. To this day, every now and again, I get some kind of little like nerve pain, like a nerve ending pain. There's a sharp part of the tooth that's still in that healed over socket.
And the only way they can get it is opening it back up.
Opening back up, and I refuse to let you do it.
And the funny thing about, I remember growing up, there was if you were like low income, sometimes your parents would take you to the dental college.
Yep.
That was always fun.
Horrible.
But I remember this one dentist used to be stationed in Redford. The man has long since passed away, so I'm not trying to piss on his grave here. But I'll never forget, for a simple cleaning, he took his finger, hooked it in the side of my mouth, because apparently I wasn't opening my mouth wide enough, and he yanked it in such a way where I felt the side of my, like right at the point where your mouth opens and closes, ripping.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you doing? You need to open your mouth wider. This is as wide as it gets. But yeah, I'm gonna be getting part 1 of the implant because it's the post. They're like, oh, we won't even no stitches. We won't even open you up. It's just.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a 1.5-year process. From the time you put in the 6 months. I should have told you 6 months is when they check the healing process. And then
he lied. I told you.
3 months from that.
Told you. He lied. Because I was looking forward to not wearing this fake tooth anymore. So I can, function without feeling the inner part of my lip getting sucked into my mouth. But it just drives me fucking nuts. And I agree. I think there are some cases where they either don't tell you or they do it on the slide, making it sound like it's worse than it is. I was at the point, honestly, where I was about ready to say, look, can I just keep the fake tooth and we just forgo all this other shit? I've gotten so used to it. I really have.
The key to these companies is that they got that one special word that makes them invincible, and that's practice.
I think he's practiced enough bullshit, if you ask me. But
that's the scary part. Is if you go to somewhere and they refer to as a practice, take it just for what it's titled. It's a practice. This is for trial and error. This is for people to learn training methods.
Well, I can honestly say this is not a practice. I mean, I'd love to say what the name of this place is. I really would.
You to, so I know not to sign up.
I'll tell you off air because I don't want to get all of a sudden that phone call that says, "Did you just say that's defamation of character and that's slander?" No, that's my mouth, you motherfucker. But moving on to other things, how much are you? I'm not saying this is why I love it when Chris is not here, because sometimes I can tackle subjects I know she would be bored as hell about, but it kind of is. how are you with like boxing and like strongman competitions?
I don't know.
Have you ever watched Strongest Men competition?
Oh yeah, I watch them quite often. I mean, I was just watching something the other day. I forgot what they call it, but it was like they take five of the strongest men that competed in competition, and they go and do like some stuff where it was one guy who he always dressed up as a Viking, but they just went and did one where it's like they took a boulder that was like 300 something pounds, had to carry it from a start destination.
Are you talking about the Strongest Men in history?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
the strongest man in history.
Okay.
So I was just watching that last weekend, and just something overall cool. Just something that popped up.
Yeah, that would actually. I like the show. I'm a little disappointed they didn't do a season 2, but I kind of get it because a lot of them are competitors also, and it interferes with their training and stuff.
Yeah.
But, are you familiar with Eddie Hall and Hafthor Bjornsson? Eddie Hall was in the Strongest Men in history, or Strongest Man in history.
I was gonna say the Hall name sounds familiar. The other name I'm not too sure of.
All right, we might have to do a little Googling on the TV. But look up Hafthor Bjornsson, and while you're doing that, I'll give you a little history. Now, I've been watching Strongman since we got cable, long time ago, because I'm just fascinated with it.
What you say his name was?
Hafthor, it's Haf. It should pop up. Yep, there's the mountain right there. But I've been watching it a long time. You know, watching the reruns, the histories and stuff like that. Okay, so you got Hafthor. That's Eddie Hall. And then the second picture right there, that's Hafthor. Now, Hafthor is 6'9". All right. Eddie Hall's about 6'5", I want to say. Trolled over his girlfriend's petite height. I mean, dude, they told a funny story of one time they broke the bed. They didn't go into detail as to how, but I'm pretty sure we can all figure it out.
Yeah.
Guy's like over 400 pounds. Well, he was. But anyway.
What's even more scary is that I looked at him and thought he was in his 40s. They say he's 29.
That was at the time. I think at the time of that article, he's in his 30s now.
Oh, okay.
But the history between these two is interesting. And honestly, I'm going to be straight up. I have no fucking idea if this is a work or a shoot in wrestling lingo. Because it basically all started, they were friends. They were friends, you know? And then 2017 hit, and the World's Strongest Man competition hit. And, yep, right there, largest ever boxing match confirmed. Not anymore, because Hafthor dropped a ton of his weight, and now he looks anorexic, at least to me. And that's not to shame the guy. I mean, if he's doing it for his health so he's faster, more power to him. But he looks completely different than that picture. He's not as big.
But his advantage is going to be the fact that he's going to be a lot more, I guess you could say, his flexibility is going to be a lot better than what.
Well, this is what I'm going to have you do. And I don't know if it'll show on YouTube. I'll link it when I get a chance on our YouTube channel. But Google Eddie Hall. And matter of fact, you can probably watch that. And watch how his training is. Because I got literally, and this is what I hate about fanboys, a lot of them are so blind by their fandom that they don't look at reality. Okay? And now, I'm not a boxing expert, so I could be talking out of my ass. I don't know. But I'm watching the training videos that Eddie Hall puts out, and I'm watching the training videos that Hafthor puts out. And just watch how he boxes. See how he's punching? All right. Now, look up Hafthor. I mean, you probably can go fast forward on this one, I think. Maybe. Nope, it's all Eddie. Okay, so look up Hafthor Bjornsson. I know he has a YouTube channel as well.
One thing I can say, you said that was Eddie Hall?
That was Eddie Hall.
One thing I can say is that he's really good with protecting himself right after the punch.
He is now. When he first was starting the training, he wasn't really doing a good job of bringing his hand up to protect his head as he threw the punch.
No, yeah, I was going to say it looked like somebody had to say
All right,
something. Third
one down. Okay, so go ahead and click that one and watch. That's not it. Okay, and hopefully I don't get like slammed by him for doing this.
With one hand, though.
And like I said, look at him now. Look at him right now. And when the video starts, look at his body shape now versus then. I hate that little guy. I swear to God, I hate that little guy. I'll explain that one in a minute. Now look how thin he is. This is supposed to be the largest heaviest boxing match ever, and he lost like a good portion of his damn weight. The little guy. Fuck you, Runar.
But what weight did he lose? Did he lose the fat?
He lost the majority of his mass in his chest and arms. I mean, he's still strong. He's still big.
He probably got more power.
By the way, he talks a lot. Okay, now watch him. Do you see a difference?
He out of there.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah, he out of there.
He doesn't have.
I hate to say it, but Thor, you're not looking too good.
Thank you. Now, granted, that was posted in October 10th. He's probably gotten better in the last few months. But I saw a video recently, and he's still punching the heavy bag like he's not certain he should be hitting it.
You know what? Is this a part of the whole how the celebrities been fighting like Mike Tyson and Roy Jones?
Or Logan Paul and all that shit?
Yeah, is it on that platform?
I think it's getting there. I mean, they both got like over 1 million apiece to do the fight. But it's in Vegas, you know?
It might be on something like that, but I know some of the stipulations in these matches be that there can be no knockout punches. That's why there wasn't any knockout.
Oh no, he's threatening to knock him out.
Oh, he's
Eddie Hall
going to threaten to do it all day.
Eddie Hall has vowed to knock him out at least in the second round.
$1 million, I get in there and throw a couple punches.
I'm honestly surprised they found a freaking cup guard or dick protector for him in that size, man. But he did lose weight. And of course, now you got to do the paid advertisement.
The crazy part is, I'm not a boxer. I commend these guys on being the strong men they are.
Right.
But from what I just seen in this video, he didn't do nearly enough training to be breathing as hard as he's breathing.
Right. And of course, this has been cut for time. But the other thing, though, and that's him lifting over 1,000 pounds for reps, by the way. But here's the thing. And this is, again, where I'm saying I don't know if it's see how much smaller he is compared to then? Yeah. And just a side note, I just fucking hate Runar. Runar's his camera guy, the guy that films all this shit. I've never seen a person, I mean, he made this a lot better, don't get me wrong, as far as like the intro and some other stuff. But I used to watch the videos before he took over, and now they're just boring. He inserts himself a lot. Like, he's the little guy that was doing the double deadlift.
Uh-huh.
He inserts himself way too fucking much. It's that fucker's channel. Shut the fuck up. Now, other strongmen have cameramen that insert themselves, and that's fine. I don't watch their channels anymore because it's boring as fuck to hear this person interject their selves into something that's not about them. It's annoying to me. But going back to the history between Eddie Hall and Hafthor, this is why I'm thinking this is more a work than a shoot. I think there is some legitimate, animosity between them because in 2017, Hafthor lost the World's Strongest Man competition by 1 point to Eddie Hall. And the reason they're saying is because Eddie Hall's buddy, who also happens to run World's Strongest Man, rigged it so Hall could win. Now, I don't think that is necessarily true. I can't honestly answer that question because I'm not knowledgeable in that stuff. But the fact is they showed a lot of behind the scenes. And at first, Hafthor was happy. He was denied one of the reps in the Viking press, but he was happy with his result because at that time he was leading. Eddie Hall comes in and does enough to take over winning the event. Then he gets upset when he realizes he's 1 point behind. Now, Hafthor in his sense of the loss of losing the contest when you put so much into it, said some things that were pretty stupid, being a poor basically. But as time went on, it almost seemed like they weren't the best of friends, but they weren't exactly not as heated with one another because there was a video, 2019, I want to say, where someone asked Eddie Hall an honest question. If you and Hafthor got into a fight, who would win? He said, me, hands down. Is he honestly going to say, I think Hafthor could kick my ass? Of course not. So someone asked.
Unless you're trying to play the mind game, Drew.
Well, the fight hadn't even started. So Hafthor was asked about it, and Hafthor kind of made some sort of backhanded, oh, come on, please. He's too tiny. I'll take his ass. And again, you expect that kind of response. Fast forward. There's another video where Eddie Hall and Hafthor are with Larry Wheels, who is a bodybuilder trying to get into strongman or something to that level. He lifts phenomenal weights. Where they were doing a sushi eating contest. Everything seemed cordial. Okay. So then I watched a video where Hafthor was talking about, he got in contact with Eddie about maybe doing a charity fight. And it seems like things are progressing great. Now, all of a sudden, it turns into this, where Eddie Hall said some things like he doesn't trust the Icelandic people. He then recanted it, saying he didn't mean the entire country of Iceland. He just meant everyone in Thor's camp. Hafthor encouraged not directly, but he didn't exactly put a stop to it, encouraged a lot of his fans to talk trash about Eddie Hall. And then came the thing that really, 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 really kicked it into gear. The 501 kilogram deadlift.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at there.
So Eddie Hall had it. I always kind of figured Hafthor would break the record because, he was deadlifting, like I said, well over 1,000 pounds, But it seemed to me that he put it into overdrive to make a point, I think, to Eddie Hall. And that's what some people think sparked the fight. Again, I don't know. But to have people say that this is real, I'm thinking it's 50% real, 50% work. Like they do have some straight up legitimate heat against each other. But I think if you look at some of the previous videos, and it would be funny if they were taken down because I'm pointing this out. Go to Larry Wheels's, if anyone's listening that cares to get proof, Larry Wheels sushi eating contest. It was in Dubai of 2019 during the World's Ultimate Strongman, and things seemed cordial. And Eddie Hall is an asshole, but he's a playful asshole. And people were pointing out that Eddie Hall was like mocking, falling asleep during an interview with Half Thor. Yeah, there it is, right there. Right there. They seem cordial. They weren't being dickish to each other.
But I think that's in the world of entertainment too, because you gotta think, like in wrestling, like everybody badmouths each other, and then like even with basketball, the Lakers will say something about the Clippers, but they all hang out with each other.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be pumping this like they absolutely, legitimately, straight up fucking despise each other. Does that look like they would be in the same room if that was the truth? Seriously?
Nah.
If I hated somebody because they besmirched my reputation, they made it seem like they never apologized for saying my title was delegitimized because he felt I cheated.
Oh, he was one of the guys on that show.
Yeah.
Looking at.
Yeah, that's Eddie Hall. If they truly hated each other, even having Larry Wheels, now he looks a little bored there, but you notice he points out at some point he starts talking to Thor. And if Thor really hated him, I mean, he would be, from what I understand, Half Thor is very laid back, respectful. He's a nice guy, but he's not going to take people's shit either. And the whole thing is, my whole thing is, you can have a respect for each other, and maybe that's what I'm seeing here, and I'm reading too much. But my whole thing, though, is these two, I think, are built, like you said, to build up the hype. But when you're grabbing other, see, they're very, very, you know, and this is before the fight got signed. But if you ask me, just on first impressions, I think this is just more hype than anything. They got their other people in the sport, the Brian Shaws, the Lawrence Chalets, Robert Oberst, all these people saying this is much bigger. It's real. The heat and the anger between these two are real. And I'm looking at going, I think it's a little bit less than what you're making it out to be. I get it. You have to pump up the fight to draw up the interest. But people are already interested because it's Half Thor. Everybody recognizes him as the guy, the last actor who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones. Eddie Hall is well known.
Eddie Hall is huge.
He's huge in England. He's starting to get a bit of a good following in the States, especially in the strongman community. But because of the strongest man in history, he's getting more well known in the States than just being in strongman. Now, one thing I will point out, you said you watched Strongest Man in History, and there was one thing where they were doing the Viking thing, like you were saying. Now, there was a moment where they were trying to do the mast on their shoulders to lift it up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He broke the record. They didn't even acknowledge it on the show. And I even asked on Twitter, I said, you know, Half Thor broke that record.
Is that the one they had the rope on the log and they were trying to roll it onto their shoulder and lift it?
Yep.
Okay.
He actually broke that record a long time ago.
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned it because they each were like special at each of the events they did. Like the older gentleman, he was the Viking child that was carrying the boulder,
Right.
and he outdid all the young bucks. Then it was like, I want to say it was this guy here because he was
Eddie?
no, not Eddie. I want to say it was the other guy, Thor.
He wasn't in it.
He wasn't in it.
Nope. You're thinking
Nope.
Brian Shaw.
Short guy.
They
walked into some building where they got to see the Viking.
That was probably.
Or something.
Well, they weren't talking about him. They were talking. They were talking about
about the actual.
Yeah. I think that was Eddie Hall, Robert Oberst, and Nick Best.
I know the name Nick was on there.
Nick's the older
I know
guy.
He was on there.
Yep.
Eddie.
Robert
So that's the right
Oberst.
one.
Robert Oberst he's about almost the same height as Brian Shaw, only he's got a big ass beard.
Big beard.
But yeah, honestly, let me get your take on this as they're gulping down their sushi.
Looks horrible.
Yeah, you couldn't. I've eaten sushi. I'm very selective of which sushi I'll eat. No.
I don't eat seafood, so.
But let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
All right. Now, when the pandemic started, look at all the stuff that got canceled and postponed. Okay.
Right.
The Olympics were postponed. You have athletes that have been training for years for that moment. It got postponed. Did they do it virtually? No. This is where I lost respect for him. Now, I'm still a fan of his, but I lost respect for him. He decided, along with ESPN, to advertise or show it on their station, but he decided to carry on with it in his own gym to do the record hold. Now, it disappoints me because he's like, well, I've been building up for this. I can't let anyone down. Try telling that to Olympians who trained their asses off to try to win the gold medal, and it was canceled. They don't get to go into their own facility and run a 100-yard dash and then have somebody in another country do theirs virtually and compare it. He didn't compete against anyone to do that fucking lift. Whereas Eddie Hall, granted, wasn't exactly competing against anyone for that lift, but he did do it during a competition. And I'm sorry. I like Thor. I think he is a genuine nice guy. But that was so disappointing that they decided to carry on with the lift anyway. His own father weighed the weights. I'm not saying his father like maybe had his thumb on the scale or whatever, but it was just, to me, disappointing to have him push this ahead as, I want to say, personal pride, but I think it was also used to set up the fight, because immediately after he did the lift, he challenged Eddie Hall. He says, "I signed it. Are you going to sign it, Eddie?"
See, I get it, but me, I think it's a different type of history. You know, you doing that lift was like breaking records in the world of just powerlifting or, strongman challenge. Olympic history is a whole different ball game. So doing it on a larger scale, I think, is for the experience or other people to get that experience, to be a part of history, because here it is, it's countries.
Mm-hmm.
Which country has been building this strong athlete or whatever, however they look at it.
Right.
But in the world of strongman, I think, yeah, these guys are off of adrenaline, testosterone. It's like
steroids.
My nuts is bigger than yours, So I think in that sense, by all means, make it happen the way you can make it happen. But on the Olympic scale, these are people who, like you said, trained, whether it be collegiate sports, whether it be
the pros,
All-American, the pros. They deserve to have the whole ceremonious presentation. At least that's how I feel. The Olympic event should have that platform to be experienced by all the people that support it.
And you know what? And to some extent, I do agree with that. But the thing that got me is his statement of saying, "I've worked too hard to not do the lift." Okay, I hate to break this, and maybe my timeline's a little off, but he was only training for it for about maybe 6 months, maybe 5, because he had just done the World's Strongest Man competition, and he had to wait for the injury that he got during the competition to heal, and he started training for the deadlift record. To me, it was, I think, just disrespectful to say you've trained too hard to let this attempt go. Now, he owns his own damn gym. He has a setup at home where he can do lifts. You're telling me you can't continue to train until at such time when maybe you can do it? It just screamed to me disrespectful to say your hard work can't be put on the back burner, but every other athlete in almost every other sport could.
But I mean, but when you make it to the Olympic level, you are conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he's conditioned.
Training. Yeah, you're conditioned in a sense of more so just powerlifting. So it becomes a point of, okay, I'm built up, ready for competition. Okay, now I'm getting burnt out, because if you stop lifting, you have to retrain to get to it.
Right.
But I can get he want to get there while he got the adrenaline, got it pumping, because once the muscles settle in, he'll have to start from scratch, get back there.
Well, it didn't take him long, 6 months.
Oh, it shouldn't take him long. I mean, if you really dedicated to it. But yeah, I get what you're saying as far as don't belittle what everybody else doing, which I think he probably did indirectly.
But that brings my original point home, is he never, to my knowledge, and I did some research, I did a lot of internet surfing because I didn't want to, say anything that was false. But to my knowledge, he has never apologized for the comments that he had made regarding the 2017 World's Strongest Man finals. He acted like a poor sportsman. And to me, I can understand why maybe he held on a little bit, but that's my personality, why he held on to a little animosity about the whole situation. But as far as his comments on the 501 deadlift, to me, it was just, I just still feel it was the most disrespectful time to do it. I get it. I do agree with you. When you go to build yourself up to do something and you say you're going to do it, because he was going to do that lift in Dubai during the World's Ultimate Strongman, much like Eddie Hall did his during the not World's Strongest Man, the Strongman circuit, I think Giants Live in England. But because it got canceled due to the pandemic, he's like, you know what? Let's set it up here in Iceland. I'll do it here. We'll get a judge, Magnus Vermagnusson, who's also Icelandic. I'm not saying that influenced anything at all, but he was there as a judge. I believe another strongman, he's known as the greatest of all time, Zydrunas Savickas, he was watching virtually, as were like many other people. But I don't know whether his intent was there to do it that way or not. It just screams like my attempt was more important than anything else that got canceled. Baseball season was postponed for months. I think hockey was postponed for a while. Basketball was postponed for a while until they figured out how to do the bubble thing. Football, which I'll ask you this in a second. But football was not really postponed, unless you count college football, which the pandemic was probably the best thing that ever happened to Michigan football in the history of ever and ever. And again, I'll get to that in a second. But all these other sports, including a lot of strongman competitions, got canceled. But his was important. And because he did that, and I'm sorry, but World's Ultimate Strongman, you picked the worst thing to name yourself, because the anagram, no. Wuss? Really? It's fun to watch them at the end and they're holding their trophies and it's a big plate that says wuss. It's like, why didn't you call yourself something else? I mean, Jesus. but a lot of people said it was good for the sport because it kept giving the fans something to look forward to. It kept giving these guys something to aim for. And to some degree, I agree.
Yeah, it's not that popular of a sport. They don't get the recognition that
No.
some of these other sports.
This sport, I think, is like, I want to say it's very underrated.
Very.
A lot of people would say, well, it's underrated because they're all on steroids.
Not even just the steroid part of it, it's just the mental conditioning of just having the ability to go back and do this stuff day after day after, not belittling any other athlete, but it's like you're continuously putting your body up under strain just to say, I'm stronger than you.
Yeah. I mean, I can honestly say I'm nowhere near as strong as some of even the strong women out there. But the fact that they go in there and they dedicate hours of their lives every day, hours. Some of these guys go in for 5 hours a day for their training. They have
in the gym today.
I have to go to the gym too. But the thing is that these guys, they do put in a lot of effort. And no one can ever take that away from these guys. No one. But to me, I don't know if it's, again, my stubborn personality. I just thought it was just kind of like disrespectful of him to do the lift as early as he did it. I mean, I always knew he could do it. I always thought he would do it. But the fact that he did it despite it all, a lot of people saying it was kind of a bad idea. Even Zadrunas, who, like I said, was watching it, he put out a video where he said he didn't think it was the right time. Like, he didn't think it should. He knew a thing or two about world records and whatnot, because he holds a lot of world records. And he was just like, to do this in a home gym, I don't know. Now, he must have come around because, like I said, he was kind of like a judge for it. But even Zadrunas was against it at first. And in my opinion, if he's against it, maybe you might want to reconsider. Just, push it back a little bit. But then again, you had all these other athletes that were, and here's where the big difference comes in. I wasn't as much against the Ultimate Strongman. I want to say, I don't remember exactly what they called it, but it was basically a series where they were chasing records, but they were competing, at least virtually, against other competitors. Like the log lift, it was Stoltman versus Kearney. Kearney damaged his tricep. He had to have surgery on it. And a couple, like Stoltman, I think, versus, I'm forgetting his name. I'm drawing a blank. But he set a world record for the Atlas stone lift, which was like 600 plus pounds, lifting a boulder from the floor and over. That takes some phenomenal fucking strength to do.
Not even just strength, flexibility, the positioning of, either you'll use all back or you go use all legs.
And
so it's all in the positioning. So if you're squatting down, them legs got to be worked out.
And like I said, coming to the end of this video of them eating sushi, does this look like there's that much heated animosity? Because I remember another video where it was on Thor's channel. He was at the elevator. Eddie just happened to come downstairs, and he was behind Half Thor, just kind of like doing his little shtick by flexing and all that stuff. And you heard the one guy go, uh-oh. And they got into the same elevator together. And people were asking Half Thor, what did Eddie say? Was it awkward? We just said hi, and that was it.
That's just to let you know, like, honestly, I think they putting on the show for the camera. I think there could be some animosity because of how he lost to him. I mean, I think I can feel that coming off of just looking at it without the sound. It's like take Eddie, for instance. When the camera gets on him, he does some little stupid little face into the camera and stuff like that.
That's his stick.
I just think he's just kind of keeping his own energy to himself. The other dude keeping his energy to himself. But I don't know. Again, a lot of it can be for shock value.
All I know is, and again, you want to talk about having the balls. It was on Hathor's Instagram, and I pointed out, dude, you need to get better. I know you got a lot of months between now and September when this fight's scheduled to happen, but you need to get better. He's having a exhibition fight, matter of fact, this month against a boxer. Now, exhibition does not mean they're going to go balls to the wall, punching each other, but
they probably have helmets on.
Oh yeah. But to me, just watching their styles, if I had to bet right now who would win that fight, I'd give it to Eddie Hall.
Out of them two fighting?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely Eddie Hall. I mean, did you hear them punches?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I jumped when the video started.
I know. When that first hit, I went like, what the hell? And the simple fact that now, this is not meant to belittle Hathor in any way, shape, or form. However, and this was the argument one of his fanboys had, at least he's getting punched in the face to condition himself for being hit. That's nice. That's admirable. But the point of boxing isn't to really take as many punches to the face. This isn't Rocky Balboa in Rocky IV. You're trying to decimate your opponent to where you either win on points or you knock them the fuck out. Not how many hits you've taken to the face. Now, if it was to prepare him so he knows what it's really like to be hit because he's never been hit before, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm glad you said that because that's actually going to draw in to this whole fight because even though Eddie Hall looks good at boxing, can he take a punch? Well, that's the thing.
It's interesting you brought that up because there's a little bit more history. Because apparently, I don't know these men on a personal level. I just know what I've read, what I've seen in videos, and what I've also heard in other interviews. But Eddie Hall grew up in, I want to say, like rough parts of England, if you will. And if you look closely, he used to bounce too. He's got a scar that runs just above his left eye, comes down and kind of comes down like this. So he's taken some damage over time.
I mean, you can suspect that, but I mean, he could have fell down the stairs and got a scar.
That is true.
Had an injury at his job before, he became strong man. It's like those kind of things because when you're in the public's eye and you're trying to brand yourself, you're going to run with a story that's going to be most, I guess, attention grabbing. Like the whole thing, like to this day, I don't believe 50 Cent got shot 9 times. Like I honestly don't. But it was the story that got him to where he needed to be.
Right. It was the
shock value.
Well, I was going to say the old, when the legend becomes stronger than the truth, print the legend.
There you go.
And in Eddie Hall's case, like I said, depending on who you listen to and what articles you read, he has had cases where he's gotten into some fights. So he knows what it's like to be punched.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure a lot of it is just people trying them because of the size.
Right.
Because...
I mean, hell, how'd you like to be in that one picture in the airplane? There he is in the... Yeah. How would you like to be that person that's sitting next to him?
You know what? I actually wouldn't mind because if I knew if somebody wanted to start some shit, he got us.
True.
That's extra cushion if we have some turbulence or something. I'm snugged in.
Yeah, you're not going to bounce out of that seat. But no, as far as he's infamous for staying hydrated because he one time said, "I'm not hydrated." Now he's known for hydration. It's hilarious. And I do that and stuff, that shit now, where he sips and he'll just do a long pull. So it's like the longest slurp out of the glass.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mistake. Never throw a medicine ball at Brian Shaw's head. All I'm going to say is I think he's very lucky. Him and Brian Shaw are as good friends as they are. But it's not going to say he's not going to get, his comeuppance.
Yeah. It's hard to catch the muzz. Taking it to the head?
Yeah. And he just did it to himself in the nose. Like, way to go, Nick. Way to go. So this is what I was talking about. He doesn't know he's standing behind him. And then he realized it. See? And this is, again, before the fight got signed. Like, literally a month or two before the fight got signed. This was funny. This was funny.
What are they, monks or something?
How would you like to be waiting for the elevator and it comes up and you see this? I'd be like, I'll take the next one, thank you.
Well, he could barely fit the helmet.
I think just wear the helmet home at that point.
Yeah. Cause ain't nobody gonna try to take it from him.
Nope. Now, the only thing I ever disagreed, besides the half Thor lift, honestly, is how these guys love to make fun of Planet Fitness. Literally. They make such fun of it. Like
I believe it.
those two big guys went into a Planet Fitness and set the Planet Fitness record for a bench press. Yeah, think. But it kind of annoys me a little bit because it's like I get it. They're mocking the chain gyms and all that stuff.
I don't think it's that. I think what it is because they got the lunk alarm.
It's not just that. Something even I disagree with.
What?
Why in the fuck are you having free pizza, free bagels, free candy at the counter for people trying to lose weight?
Same thing, or the same reason why a doctor won't cure you. Because if I cure you, what's the need of me?
Well, you're going to a gym to be better, yes?
True enough.
If you stop going to the gym, like you said with Half Thor stopping lifting, you have to restart from the beginning.
Exactly.
That has nothing to do with the pizza. That has nothing to do with the pizza.
They give you pizza, so that way you still have to work at burning those calories. So you're going to come into the gym working this off. So if they're providing you with them cheat days, then they know you're going to come in here to try to work this stuff off.
Right.
So it's going to keep you motivated to keep coming. Like, okay, I got a membership, and every now and again I get to eat me some pizza every Monday. Or this, that, and the third.
You know who the ones are that are the ones eating the pizza? And of course, because of the pandemic, I don't think they've had the free pizza at all. But and I've seen this every single time up until the pandemic. It's a lot of your older people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of scary in a way. Not because, they're eating this pizza, but it falls under exactly what you just said. They will huddle in the corner and they'll scarf the pizza. It's free pizza. It's not technically free. It comes out of your dues. But then they go back on the fucking cardio machines to try to burn it off and go back for more. It's like, what are you people doing?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, so if they instill that in your mind that, okay, here at the actual gym, it's okay to get your pizza as long as you work it off. They're going to try and do the same things at home. So as long as they're eating at home, yeah, you're going to try and work out at home. But then it's like, no, I need to keep this gym. That's what keeps me motivated, because that was my excuse for the longest. I go to the gym for the motivation around me. Like, I can get in shape, but seeing people work out around me puts you in that mode. Like, okay, let's go.
It used to be that way for me, but now it's something different. Because honestly, I don't like it when people watch me. Because I know if you're watching somebody else, somebody's watching you. Kind of like as a motivation. And call me paranoid, but you watch enough YouTube videos of gym fails, and a lot of them are at Planet Fitness where you shouldn't be filming anybody. But I'm afraid of one day ending up on a gym fail, and I'm thinking, I'm just trying to work out. What the fuck? So it motivates me to do the exercise right, except for there was one moment. I just literally started this training program with my physical trainer, and it was taking a step onto a platform. I'm not the most graceful human being on the fucking planet. And my foot, I was in the circuit training area, and my foot just caught the lip of the platform. And I went forward, almost like clocked my skull on the leg press in front of me. And I landed knee first into the hard floor. And what made it to me that I'm like, thank God this happened so quick, no one had a camera ready, is I noticed only 2 people came to see if I was all right. Everyone else just staring at me on their ellipticals like, fucking fat ass didn't bounce. I'm shocked. That's the look on their faces that I saw. Only one person, and I said 2, but the other one was Amanda. She kind of had to. If she didn't, we wouldn't be married now. But this guy came over and goes, hey, are you okay? That looked like it hurt. And I'm like, oh, yeah. He goes, do you want me to get the staff? I'm like, no. I think I'm fine. I'll be fine. He goes, gonna see you tomorrow? I'm like, God, I hope so. It was basically the motivation to keep me going. But my whole thing about going to the gym isn't to see how other people are doing and, doing the measure stick against what I'm doing. I know a lot of people do that, but for me, it's to get that feeling. And this is going to sound crazy, but it's to get that feeling of pushing myself so much that when I leave that gym, I want to fight a car. Where you feel invincible because you've lifted X amount of weight and you did it with, relative ease. Like I had posted on Instagram not too long ago that at the start of 2020, my strength had like dramatically dipped, and I had sought the help of my physical trainer, and he got me on the right path. And we hadn't really done bench press all that much, and I was doing on a seated bench and on a platform bench, or a regular bench press, I was doing about between 60 and 70 pounds. Fast forward a year. At the end of the year, I did 130 for two reps.
Okay.
So I doubled the weight in a year, which I was very, quite proud of. And of course, here comes my sister, who is probably the more motivating force for pushing me, whether she knows it or not. Because she goes, I finally did 125. It's like, I got to keep staying ahead of her, because I noticed she was getting a lot stronger than I was always boasting. So I had to fucking buckle down and start, going in there, hard. And she's still catching up. And that's what drives me is staying, not that I'm not proud of my sister and her accomplishments and staying with the boot camps and stuff. But my motivation is just staying that much ahead of her to always remember she may have the better body, but I will always have more strength.
That's too, but what you also have to say that you have above her is the fact that you have that will-do mentality. Like, just want to stay ahead of people. Like, it might not even be for a competition, even though it seems like it's competition, but that's just your mental self, like, letting you know, like, okay, in some way, shape, or form, I'm saying to myself, okay, I can do it. I know it's something a little more I can do to keep going. And then you're always looking for that extra edge. So when I used to work out, like now I do little core things, but
Keep going. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
okay. When I used to work out, it just used to be just watching different videos, the music you listen to, just different things like that. But my best advice to if you want to work out is stop trying to do what everybody else do. You know, you can't try to follow the plan that was meant for somebody else because that plan may not be working for you, or even worse, it can also be the fact that you could be doing more damage to yourself following somebody else's plan versus your own. I mean, everything is tailor-made to you, your body makeup, and just the way you eat, the way you exercise, the time of day you exercise, the amount of sleep you get, you know, your stress levels, all those things play a factor. So it's for 2021, everybody just stay motivated. You know, if not anything else, you got to stay motivated. Try taking on a health challenge. You know, start for 14 days, then go for 30 days, then go for 60 days, then, you know, 3 months at a time. I mean, most cases you're gonna see yourself gain weight before you lose it. But that's all in the up and down of getting healthy. Let's see. And with everything that's going on too, you gotta have that mental balance. That mental balance is really, really important. So, what I was saying to them was basically, you know, it's a lot of things that plays into the fact of getting healthy. I mean, whether it be the mental stability, the stress levels, the time you go to sleep, what you eat, and just having that will-do attitude.
Yeah, but sometimes it is really hard to get that will-do attitude, though.
It's hard, but you got to get I'm gonna tell you, the reality check of it is half of the people don't understand how important it is until you go and get yourself checked. Because once I thought I was doing good, you know, playing semi-pro football, heavy set, you know, nicely cut at the time, but my LDL levels were high. Never knew that. It start making you eat different things. It start making you think differently. You process in your mind what you're about to eat before you eat it. Whether it be from the smell, from the look of it. Like, I'm one of them people, food to me gives off a certain scent if it has salt. That's just something for me. Like, I can kind of smell if it's too much salt or if it's just too seasoned. You know, because 9 times out of 10, half of this food that you eat that tastes really good, especially when it comes to soul food, it's just overly seasoned food.
Yeah.
You know, that's why when you prep meals at home, it's good to go buy some fresh greens. I mean, if you have to, get a canned green, but it's not ideal. But look at the difference in texture, the difference in taste, how you feel afterwards. Because when I stopped eating meat, I was able to tell the difference of my daily. When I was getting up, I was more energetic. I was able to go to sleep and stay asleep until the next day, get 8 hours unconsciously knowing, get my 8 hours. So you really got to pay attention to yourself. I tell my patients that too. It was like, we're here to help sustain your livelihood, or help you maintain, put you in the right direction. But I will be doing you a disservice if I wasn't honest with you. And at the end of the day, in order to achieve that end goal, it starts with self.
Right.
It starts with self. And until you realize that you're the only person that's going to make that decision, you're going to find excuses and find it dreadful to work out, things like that. Just know, what you can do today can make for a better tomorrow. And that's just what it comes down to. It's like, if you don't think nothing else, what you do today can make the difference of if you will even see tomorrow.
Right.
And That's what it was with me. So that's how I ended up getting into trying to work out, get into eating different, those kind of things. Because when you think LDL levels, I didn't know what the hell that was. I didn't know that was bad cholesterol. You know, I was like, all right, maybe I eat some Cheerios. You know, they always talk about poor cholesterol. but it's way more than that. You can't undo what you done did to your body over years in a short period of time. So that same commitment you made to messing your body up, can you make that same commitment to your replenishing?
I would honestly say yeah, because I was in a situation very similar to what you just described, where you figured you were in great shape and then you discovered your bad cholesterol was bad.
Yeah.
I was kind of in the same shape. I mean, I've always been on the heavier side, but I've always sought out weights. I'm not much of a cardio junkie, but I will do cardio when I feel it's required. But I was always in good, if you could call it, shape. Not great shape, in okay shape. I was still just fat. But I went in for one physical one day and found out that my LDLs were so bad that if I was continuing on the path I was going on, I would probably have to first be put on cholesterol medication, which I hate pills to begin with. There's irony. And if I still refuse to change my habits, I would have that nice little procedure where they stick a little, I don't want to say, what is the term I'm looking for? It's when they stick the needle up your main artery in your leg, fish it up into your heart to unclog your arteries.
Oh, it's almost like a pick line.
Yeah, something like that. She said I was heading in that direction, and that scared me straight to where I was just like you. I'm like, okay, so what, and this is before I even got in the medical field. I'm like doing the research. What will lower my cholesterol? Apples, that'll lower your cholesterol. Broccoli, that'll lower your cholesterol. Cheerios, infamously known for lowering cholesterol.
Also, too, I'll be honest, making your own apple cider drink in the morning, that will help you not only with energy. I mean, it tastes horrible.
Oh yeah, I know. I know, and first thing in the morning too. You don't need coffee for that shit.
I do the miracle cleanse, and it's taking me a little longer to get through the bottle because I'm not doing it often. But I noticed the difference. Like you get the stomach moving. You know, you get a lot of benefits. So like the apple cider vinegar, apples, like you said.
Yep.
Lemons in your water, cucumbers in your water. It all helps with metabolism.
Adding cucumbers to your smoothies or whatever.
There you go.
And then you look at what's considered the good fats, like your avocados. I was looking at that like because a single avocado is like over like 200 some odd calories. Yeah. But they say you should at least have either half or a quarter of an avocado a day, because that good fat helps with your other problematic issues.
Yeah, that's why. See, I'm allergic to shellfish.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since, this whole COVID thing came about, I'm finding out that I'm vitamin D deficient. When your level's supposed to be 32 to 100, you find out you at a 7. And the chances of you surviving COVID is like, very low. So when they said that, it's like I really started looking things up. I started getting on the vitamin, like multivitamin. Like I never understood strong men or people who just like to work out always say, eat your vitamins, take your vitamins. What are they really doing? But now I see how not only it helps build the immune system, but it helps you overall mentally. Because just knowing that you're making that effort to get healthy, that's when the cleansing of your whole body truly, really starts. You can start eating clean. You can work out every day. But if mentally you don't prep yourself saying that you're taking the proper steps,
mm-hmm.
You're going to always have that mental blockage. You're going to always be depressed. You're going to always feel like working out is work. I used to dread people who go work out for fun. I like, why do you want to do that? That's not
like, are you psychotic or masochistic?
And it was like I was playing football at the time, so it was like, no, that's torture. Like we do 6 inches when we lose a game. You do 6 inches because you say you like it.
Just for clarification, when he says 6 inches, it's not what you think.
I don't know.
I mean, if that's how they punished you guys for losing a game, there might be some issues that need to be, pardon the pun, tackled.
Oh man. Yeah, what she said. 6 inches is you raising your heels 6 inches off the ground while laying flat on your back.
Yeah, that is torture.
It's torture. Give it about 2 minutes, you start feeling that burn.
But yeah. To me, I don't know if the mindset I'm in right now is I got to kind of get back into it because I'm used to, let me ask you, are you a morning gym or workout person, or are you more of an evening workout person?
That kind of works in numerous ways, but the shortest way I can say, if I'm going to Planet Fitness, when I was going to Planet Fitness before the pandemic, I was one of those people that like to go 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, when it was like not too many people in there.
I'd imagine there are hardly anyone in there.
No, and when you're in Dearborn, when you go to the one in Dearborn, and if you actually
The one off
not
Southfield?
the one off of Southfield and Fort Road.
Okay.
When I was going in there, you know, you got the hospitals and things like that, so people was doing shift changes, just all kind of different things around there. So it was like you probably get maybe 20 people in the gym, 25 people, but it's spread it out because it's a nice size facility.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah, so it didn't look like a lot, but it was just enough for that vibe to where it's like, okay, you don't even know it's 2 o'clock in the morning because it's just so vibrant in here. Everybody got just as much energy as you got, or you know, you're getting eager to build your energy up to where they are. But I went at that time just because I felt like it was more convenient. You know, it was more so my sleep patterns were bad. So it was like to help sleep, but also not to just have idle time, because it's like, why just sit here and let time burn away when it's like, I'm paying for a membership. Let me go over here.
Right.
And in most cases, you know, after you work out, you're like, ready to go. Then you find out that they got the hydro massage table. You go play on that a couple times, like, okay, I can go do a little more. So, I mean, I like late, you know, I like late, but if I'm working out at home, I prefer to do it in the morning.
Now, see, I'm trying desperately, because my hours and days of working have changed. I liked it better personally, where I had basically your 8 to 5 job, more or less. That afterward, I could at least after work go straight to the gym, go there for an hour or two, go home, shower, because I am not showering at the gym. Sorry, folks. Shower, grab dinner, relax for an hour or so, and then go to bed, rinse, lather, repeat. Working out before work is a chore and a half to do. I mean, if, like, say I'm on certain programs, like one day it's day one, he has me doing bench press as much as I can do for as many reps as possible, rest between 4 minutes, and I do it twice. When you're first waking up, it's not that easy to haul an X amount of weight over your head or, you know, on the bench, let alone then go over and do the deadlift, which I'm slowly getting that to climb up. But my body is just like still asleep. I respond better, I've found, and this has been like ever since I worked in the auto industry. I respond better if I work out after work, and then I'm in that zone of ready to sleep. The problem is because of my hours the way they are now, by the time I get home, it's not even shower, eat, sleep with a little bit of, you know, relaxation in between then. It would literally be, by the time I got home, eat, sleep, or shower, sleep. There's not enough downtime, relaxation between them, because I have to wake up at like 6 in the morning. And then you watch, like, I want to say motivational videos, like there's an infamous one where it was Arnold Schwarzenegger who talked about he held a construction job. He worked out before and after, and sometimes in the middle of his construction job. He's like, you have 24 hours in a day. you can find the time. But I'm here to tell you, it is difficult as fuck to get that mindset going first thing in the morning for me.
I'm gonna tell you the best one. The one time where I felt like I was at my healthiest, I had one regimen. I had 2 exercises that I chose for the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So say I was working a 10-hour shift, 10 to 12-hour shift where I was working. So before I go to work, I would stretch. The most important part of working out is stretching, getting the muscles warmed up, getting them stretched flexibility-wise to minimize injuries.
Right.
You get that going. If you're like myself at that time, there were numerous shows on TV that you wanted to see, or specials and things like that. So my brother, Lord behold, when he went to prison, he came home. He was doing like the Mike Tyson 52-part push-ups. So he was showing me different ways to start working out. So he would he'll say this is a 3, so this is 3 push-ups. This is a 10, do 10. The jack is go until you can't go anymore. So long story short, when I started doing that, I started seeing my results when I stretched in the morning before work, and I stretched 30 minutes before I go to bed. Both sessions, at least try to do it for 15 to 30 minutes, just stretching, if you don't do nothing else. If you know you're going to watch a show that day, and you know there's commercials, those 2 exercises you got, you're going to at least get 3 to 4 commercial breaks while you're watching that show. Take those 2 exercises, why they be 6 inches in planks. Do 6 inches for the whole commercial break. Then go back to watching the show. When it's on commercial again, go do your planks for the whole commercial break. Those little bits help because, again, I'm not no physical therapist or anything like that. But the way I look at it is that when you go hard for short periods of time, you shock your body more. So now your body's fighting to burn.
Are you talking like the HIIT like program?
It's kind of like high intense cardio. It's kind of like that, but you're more so just focusing on your core. If you focus on the core, all the fat and the other stuff about the water weight and all that will slowly start to go away. You got to strengthen that core. And us as men, a lot of our weight loss is going to come from the testosterone that we work up in our bodies. So that's a lot of leg working out. A lot of us don't do legs. And legs are the most important because it holds the whole foundation of your body together.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'll show you better. I can tell you 6 months from now, see where I'm at.
Same here because, I'm not one that skips leg day. It's weird. But I actually enjoy leg day.
You know what?
I enjoy the whole day except for like maybe the sit-ups. And even then I can kind of enjoy those depending on the machine.
I like the sit-ups. The sit-ups don't bother me. I hate trying to do pull-ups.
Yeah, I'm not fond of that.
I go to the assistant machine. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Same here.
I go there and I still might only give you about 3 of them, but they gonna look good.
Be like, 1, 2. What's the setting on the bottom? 3.
So, but I don't know. I think the worst part of getting in shape is the nutrition.
Yeah,
because you never truly got a firm grasp on what really works for you.
I know what I'm trying to start out. Because I prep for the entire week, for the entire work week. Like I'll have like 2 ounces of lean meat, like either turkey, maybe buffalo, maybe higher lean beef, mixed in with spinach, jasmine rice, maybe a little cream of mushroom soup to give it a little bit of like put it together. I like to add a lot more fruits and veg. Like this time around, I'm adding a lot more fruits and veggies to the diet. Like I discovered I can eat broccoli raw. I always knew I could.
Listen, broccoli is one of the best vegetables cold. Like raw.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. Like I always been a broccoli lover growing up. Like, we used to even get the Spartan bag that you boil and it got cheese already in it.
Yep.
We used to have those. But it wasn't until I got grown and we started getting party trays, and I realized I can't eat cauliflower. I hate it. I don't know why, but I can eat broccoli all day.
You know, I did not try cauliflower raw, but I know I can eat it. But yeah, broccoli, I bought a bunch of that that I'm going to put into a little snack bowl. Baby carrots, I'm going to have that. I'm going to have another one that's going to have a little bit of Cheerios in there. You know, the baby diet. But
Definitely get some granola.
I think I don't have the granola, but I do have steel cut oats.
Okay.
Get a quarter cup of that with some honey Greek yogurt. Put in some almonds and some blueberries. Mix that sucker up. I'm telling you, I will eat that at about 7:50 in the morning and not even be hungry by the time I take my first break at about noon.
And that was another thing I had to learn because I wasn't a big yogurt person. But if you get the proper yogurt, like the Greek yogurts and things like that, the probiotics in it is good for gut health.
Yeah.
Help with your digestive, help keep your colon clean and things like that. So
And
that's something to invest in.
And blueberries is a great antioxidant.
Blueberries, cranberries. I don't know. You know what? You gotta be careful too. A lot of people opt into spinach, but spinach actually contributes to the cause of kidney stones.
Well, I don't eat those a lot. I mean, I grew it in my garden last year, and I add it on occasion to the rice meat or the mashes, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I change it up periodically. Like I'll add baby carrots instead of the spinach. Or I'll put in some spinach, but I'm not eating a lot because I do it in portion sizes. And when it comes to my lunches, I don't do the same thing every week. I shake it up so I don't get sick of what I'm eating. I'm just trying to make smarter choices of it. Like this week, I'm probably doing the mash with the spinach. The following week, I'll probably do like tuna sandwiches, no mayo, with some vegetables here and there and some fruit. So I'm getting like as much of the daily how many does anyone know? And I'm saying this rhetorically. How many servings of vegetables you should have
in a day? Well, I know they want you to at least have 6 meals. So if you take that, I would say anywhere between 5 to 8 servings because you think snack times too.
Right. Well, if memory serves me correctly, and let's see if I'm right. I thought it was 13.
It might be because they want this. It's about the colors on your plate: the green, the orange. Was it the green or orange? I want to say the yellow.
Let's see. Daily fruit and vegetable intake. Here we go. So that's not helping me. Okay, so it says depending on your age and what gender you are, federal guidelines recommend that adults eat at least 1.5 to 2 cups per day of fruit and 2 to 3 cups per day of vegetables. So that doesn't necessarily say how many servings a day, but they basically want you to get 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit and then 2 to 3 cups of vegetables. Now imagine petering that out. You're setting up your lunches for the week, or at least for the day, and you're measuring it out. Okay, I need 3 cups of vegetables. Boom, 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 boom. This is for the whole day. Then you get your fruits. Okay, I need 1.5 to 2 cups. Boom, boom. Okay, now I need my grains. All right. The thing that always kills me when it comes time for grains and proteins is they're sometimes a little too scientific, and I can see where people throw their hands up. Because if you were to go on my Fitbit, it asks you how many grams. I'm not looking at that shit. Give me, half cup, full cup, 3.5 cup, or 3.25, whatever. But
they're definitely using scales.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the thing is my scale will either read by the ounce, or I'm assuming the other one's grams, but I don't know because it's hard to get that setting.
See, that's what bothers me though about like trying to get a generalized understanding of like nutrition, because as you just broke it down, you need 2 cups of this, 3 cups of that. Not every fruit is going to be the same in that amount,
Right.
you know, because watermelon, pineapple, things like that are obviously in chunks. Cantaloupes, melon, but then you got something like raisins, prunes, dates, those kind of things that you'll fill up.
Blueberries.
Blueberries, you know, they're just gonna fill up a full cup, and you're not gonna get nearly as much of the nutrition you got from that cup of blueberries that you can get from apple slices or whatever, because it just don't make sense. So that's why I say it's like you really gotta find what works for you, because your body is gonna react to it.
And you also got to look at the other thing that's usually the detriment, I feel, to a lot of people trying to lose weight. Not necessarily, lose mass or, gain mass, but what's the difference between the good sugars in the fruit and the bad sugars? Like bananas, great fruit for you, especially at a certain
High in sugar.
very high in sugar. But they're saying it's good sugar. Are you sure? That's why you should only have half a banana.
If you actually look at what bananas look like in the Dominican Republic, or
You talking like the little plantains or the
they look like the plantains that the Puerto Rican culture and stuff they have, but our bananas in a sense are mutated. With the bananas you see in the flesh and how most peel from that long stem, you're opening your banana upside down.
Yeah, everyone's so used to grabbing it by the top, and I'm guilty of it too. I did not know you're supposed to grab it from the bottom and peel it.
Bottom, grab the pit and pull it, and it's really easy to open.
Yeah. And there have been times you do it the other way, and it's like, God, it's not working. Anyway, we're gonna wrap things up. Any closing thoughts on what you're hoping for this coming year?
Man, 2021, I just wanted to be a better year. Why it be? You just embrace the person next to you, or just, take time to understand somebody outside of your circle. It's been a lot of division in 2020, mostly because of the political, the political madness, I guess you want to call it.
To say the least.
Yeah, it's like I just told one of my coworkers, set your own tone for 2021. Whether it be understanding somebody else or understanding yourself, do all you can just to understand. That's all you can. If you do that, we'll be a way better place.
Yep.
You'll be in a way better mental state. Just understand the things that you can't understand, let it go.
And mine, and this is something I really have to work hard on for myself, but I think it really is something we all need to work on, at least in varying levels. You have to learn to be kind when others forget to be so. Because you don't know what a person's going through mentally that's projecting their outward attitude or reactions. And if they forgot to be kind, make up for it. Make up for them being a bit of a butthead at that moment. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up here. We will be back in 2 weeks. I have no idea where in Saskatchewan Krista is.
What up, Krista, if you're listening?
Or if you're watching. But if you're out there, kind of let us know you're still breathing, huh? Anyway, until we see you again in 2 weeks, I've been Dawn, that's been Cortez, and until we see you next time, keep your rants in your pants.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?